Hey everybody, Opinionated Cheapskate coming at you. This is the preview part of my look at my new Sierra Designs Lightning 2 Featherlight tent. This is a sub 4-pound tent, which I got a tremendous deal on. And this is going to be the first time I actually use it. So of course I'm in my backyard rather than deep down the trail. My philosophy on something like this is you want to use it in adverse conditions at home first before you give it a try out on the trail. And although it still looks fairly nice, it's a little cloudy here. We are supposed to get a fairly strong line of storms coming in here late this afternoon, late this evening, and into the overnight hours. So we should have wind-driven rain the whole sort of 9 yards, which will give this thing a real test. So as you see, I have this fully guyed out. I'm expecting this to take a little bit of a beating tonight. So the design of this is actually quite cool. This part from sort of the opening down to about that first segment, it's essentially a traditional double-walled tent. It's all sewed together, but it's there's mesh and venting underneath, and I'll show you that. I'll show you the interior in a second here. But from here down, it's a single-wall tent. So again, this is set up in a way that's designed to save weight. I have to say I like the overall design of this. Down here at the bottom is a covered vent to allow additional venting, and the sides, these entire sides up here are all mesh, which also should give a lot of vent and prevent condensation. So let me quickly just take you around here to the front, show you the inside. This is a nominally two-man tent, but as you'll see inside, when I get my stuff in here, a second, we will undo the zipper. I'm a big guy, admittedly, so I have a long pad and so forth. That's how much of the two-person tent's going to be taken up by one guy. So, yeah, you could get a second person in here, preferably somebody you have some romantic involvement with, I would say. But it's quite, comfortable, even almost palatial for a sub 4-pound tent for one person. And that's probably how I'm going to end up using it. There you see the mesh that goes all the way across, and then the single wall at the bottom with another mesh window down there. These things over here on the sides, the Sierra Design calls these gear closets, and the idea is, particularly if you have two people in the tent and you don't have any room for your gear, instead of a vestibule, you have this thing on the side where you can stick your gear and then use the zippered access points to access it while you're, even if it's under cover and in the rain. The front of this is also kind of cool. It's let me get this back up again. There we go. All right. As you'll see, you get a really big porch here in the front, and the idea is, even in the rain, you can probably have the door some or most of the way down. Only in the sort of the most hard driving rain will you need to fully button it up. And then again, given that you have all that mesh in the front, and then the mesh window in the back, and this sort of open porch area, the tent should vent very well, and even in warm weather or in very humid conditions. So, but we're going to see how we do. After the storms and all that roll through tonight, I'm going to sleep in this thing tonight, and tomorrow I will give you the post-storm report. Hey, good morning, everybody. Well, here's the report on my new Sierra Designs tent. This is a really good example of why even an excellent piece of gear like this, you should definitely test in your backyard before you take it out into the backcountry. I slept in this tent fine. We had a little bit of wind, but mainly just rain on and off all night. Slept in it fine, got up this morning, went in, had some coffee. I brought all my stuff in, but I didn't take the tent down. And then we had another heavy rain while I was having breakfast, and so I came out here a little bit later, and I was about to give a sort of glowing report, but then I came and saw my air mattress, and there is the uncontroverted proof that there is a bit of a leak in this tent. And the leak is probably right, if you look at it, right up here where these seams are. So even though this is an excellent tent, it handled the rain quite well, there's a seam right there that I need to do a little preventive maintenance on and take care of. Not a huge deal. The tent was otherwise fine, but even a solid tent like this, I mean, this really is an excellent tent. I'm perfectly happy with it. But before it goes out into the wilderness, we're going to be using a little seam tape on that little spot there. Anyway, so overall thumbs up on this tent, but an excellent example of why you want to check your gear before you head outside, because this right now in my house is no big deal at all. On a 3-day backpacking trip, if I didn't have anything to do anything about it, it would have been a bit of a disaster. So anyway, have a good afternoon, everybody. Thanks.